Kita kemarin ada di posisi kedua. Jam sampah yang mau kita bawa kemarin sampai sekarang. Maksudnya apa yang mau kita lakuin dari yang kemarin untuk hari ini? Yang kita lakuin ya kita pasti lebih disiplin aja sih dari yang kemarin. We must try to more discipline before last season.
Perfect. Okay, we all know Indonesia is a powerful Okay, we all know Indonesia is a powerful region, and you guys are defending the title. I mean, not your team, but
eliminated. Next comes stage 2, the survival stage, where 12 teams. Here, it's all or nothing, as only 4 top teams advance to the final stage, and 8 squads can start packing their bags. That brings us to the match point finals, where the remaining 12 teams, 8 from group stage and 4 from survival stage, clash for the ultimate glory of becoming the Esports World Cup Free Fire champions. Here, there's no map cap. The game goes on until one of the squads earns 90 points, and after that, manages to score a booyah in the next match. Only then can they call themselves the champions.
The reporters of the club championship. So every single one of you is going to give us a little bit of a rundown. We've got Chris, Trav, and Glitter. I'm going to start off with you, Chris. How are things going, and what can we expect from your stage?
Well, Dota, to be honest, has kind of been business as usual. Been going through the motions, getting through the group stage. Today is when we have actually started the survival stage. Relevant of that, though, we did have 4 teams top their group, and Falcons, one of those squads, managing to get through, guaranteeing themselves some club championship points. So that's something to keep an eye on. Another notion, though, today, we've got the first 2 teams coming up in this survival stage. Team Liquid, currently down in their series, not looking too great for them. Virtus Pro, they're 1-1 in their series. So both those 2 teams could go out today. Considering where they're at in club championship status, that is a massive last week. The Wolves, which was a big thing for Navi in general. So it was Dark Angel who managed to take the 1,000 points home, which is huge for them as well, because they're one of the competing teams in the club championship. Secondly as well, Virtus Pro have got a large array of teams across it as well, so them getting those 750 points was huge for them. And then Reject as well, coming in 4th, getting 300. So they had a week for those organizations. We're on to Mobile Legends Bang Bang this week, the Women's Invitational, and that has kind of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works. Falcons back again with a couple of rosters, no surprise there. They're investing heavily in stage 4 this year. And Team Vitality off to a flying start.
Yeah, they're the title defenders. I know that for sure. They only very interesting one, Glitter.
Yeah, very different from Limit. Now, that's important because Unlimit is not participating in the club championship. So those points, gone, out the window. But the teams we are paying attention to are Team Vision and Sentinels in 2nd and 3rd, who did manage to get some points on the board for their club. However, now we're going into week 2, and looking forward to that, we have Free Fire, right? Now, this is kind of where my stage ties into your stages a little bit more, because this year the teams that we're looking at are Team Falcons and Vitality, funny enough. Now, Falcons won Free Fire in 2024, however, they did not last year around. And Vitality even out. Yeah, Falcons actually are a team that are expected to do very well this week. So we'll have to see what that means in the end for our club championship, but it's going to be exciting.
It sounds like the teams that we are keeping our eyes on this week is going to be Sentinels. They're also competing on the League of Legends stage for us. We also got to keep our eyes out for Vitality, because of course they are in the running. Virtus Pro with a lot of teams across a lot of different titles. And for us on the league stage, AGAL. This is their debut here at ELC. They have a lot of teams competing. We're going to see how this week pans out. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to be back to you guys.
Over 200 clubs, only one club champ. 7 weeks, esports clubs send their players to compete. Every placement, every win, every podium earns points for their club. At the end of 7 weeks, every point counts. The club at the top walks away with $7 million and the title of best esports club in the world. It's not about being the best at one game. It's about being the best across all of them. Depth, versatility, consistency. Championship trophy, one title. Who will take it? Watch history unfold in Paris at the Esports World Cup 2026.
Bonjour, it's Yoso and welcome to EWC 26. Right next to me is our player Razia from EVOS Divine, and of course here's our beautiful translator as well. So, to our first questions, being the champions of EWC 25 and getting back here again, are you willing to rewrite the history or making something new at this moment? Jadi sebagai champion tahun lalu, adakah
Yeah, I'm really confident right now because we're gonna ready to back champion again.
Very confident, and I love that. They would love to get the championship once again. But here's another question. We have Team Secret right here. As you guys all know, Team Secret SWAG got their championship at the Free Fire World Series 2026 spring here in Vietnam, and they're also here to compete with Evo's Divine. So, how do you think about them? Jadi kan ada Team Secret kan, jadi bagaimana perasaannya dengan mereka itu?
I'm feeling like our place, EWC.
Their intensity is really much here, but that is all we can hear from Russia, and I would love to see more from Evo's Divine and of course other teams right here in EWC 26 Free Fire. See you guys later, and thank you for listening.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Free Fire at Esports World Cup 2026 live from Paris. We're finally here. By the way, my name is 7WC. I'm going to be your studio host, and I'm joined by some amazing talent. Start with you. How are you enjoying Paris so far?
Oh, it's quite different. This is the first time in Paris. I'm really loving it right now, especially the energy that we have right now.
I mean, yeah, we're next to some other stages, and boy, we can definitely feel the crowd energy. How about you, Conchita? How are you enjoying Paris?
It's also my first time in Paris, and it's been amazing. I just can't wait to see how the competition goes this year, and yeah, having a great time so far.
I mean, you know what? Let's just dive right into the competition, because we have Evos returning, and they could be back-to-back champions here at EWC, Neptunes.
Oh, have to see though, because on the regionals, it seems like they're having a lot of trouble. So I don't know if it's just a up to this level, but hopefully it's for the best of them, because again, who doesn't want to see them to be back-to-back?
Yeah, of course. I mean, if we're talking about Evo's Divine, let's not forget we have Russia, the youngest player, also the MVP of last year. I'm pretty sure that today he's back with a vengeance, and he is going for redemption. Honestly, I think Evo's Divine is trying their best to perform well at the EWC, because as you said before, the regional wasn't so great for them. They were having a bit of a time. They struggled, but yeah, I think things are looking up, so I'm pretty hopeful. As an Indonesian, I can help but feel hopeful.
Well, let's find out how to make it directly to the finals, or are they going to be going to survival? Conchita, if you want to go first, or Neptune?
Can I go first?
Go ahead.
I think I'm gonna sound a little biased because again, Indonesian, I can't help it, but I really want them to go straight and not go through the survival. Not because I have that much confidence, but also I'm a little worried actually. I'm a little worried for them to go into the survival stage. So it might as well be, do it quick, do it better, do it perfect, and then go straight to the next stage.
I don't know, because even I think they're confident enough, despite of the record of not having performed from regionals. They're confident enough that know exactly what needs to be done to get into the grand finals. That has been the storyline that they have, even in Southeast Asia. And that's one reason as well. When it comes to the numbers, that looks like they're struggling. But now that I'm thinking about it, how well they are recovering after those instances. So I guess they might be able to do it again, even in EWC.
I mean, sometimes some teams actually benefit. I know this sounds crazy, but sometimes teams benefit if they end up getting that little extra in survival. But the thing is, she said, it is scary in survival because only the top 4 will be moving on to the grand final. So I don't know if they want to put themselves in that position.
True, especially as the reigning champion.
I feel that extra pressure there in survival. One team that's looking to not go to survival and qualify directly to finals is Buriram United.
Yes, I'm very proud of Buriram United. I think winning the global finals in 2025 really gave them the confidence they much needed. And EWC is something they've been looking forward to finally have in their store, because it's something that they don't have yet. And Wasana, I think Wasana has been showing a bit more maturity in the way that he's playing, the role that he's taking. I hope that he can be one of the best players that we can see at the EWC 2026.
Yeah, I do agree. I mean, Misana being consistent, being the best rusher out of the team, and also the chemistry out of the they haven't grabbed any title or has failed in EWC, we've seen how well they recovered on the global finals. And it's not as if they made a lot of change.
Yeah.
The strategy is pretty much the same. Slow in the beginning, mid-game towards the end game, that's there where they get all those elimination. And pretty much that's also the same in Champion Rush, because you don't have to rush that much in the first instance, the first stages. It's just that Fuya needs to be taken where it really matters, and that is for the last day.
And I think it's like a perfect Cinderella story, you know? I mean, they finished 9th in the last year of EWC, but then slowly trying to build themselves up. And the global finals, it's just a perfect run for them. This would be a full circle moment for Budoran United Esports.
Oh, they're just missing that EWC championship.
I know.
Another team that's actually missing that one too, that I know a lot of Brazilian people are going to be happy about, is going to be Fluxo. Fluxo's coming in with one of the MVPs too out of the region in MT7. We'll wait and see what that squad's going to be doing. But out of Group A, when we're looking at it, we also have Falcons in there, right? And that's a North that has won before here at EWC Free Fire. They only have just one player from when they won though, and that was On Fire.
Okay, so I think Neptune's gonna take this one, because speaking of
Well, it's one thing though. I mean, Team Falcons, at some point after not like losing a few of their players, they lost their identity. We are not seeing that consistency anymore. There is some fire similar to what we've seen from Budoran United, but it's not that aggressive. It's not that much we're in. It's a sure win for them. So it's really difficult to tell if they're just playing with us, just pulling our leg right now, that they're not that strong, and then later that's when they bring in those booyahs in the champion run. Because again, it's one of the things that I noticed from some teams, they choose some stages or some tournament wherein they really want to pop off. Because they don't.
I think it's a bit of a unpredictable situation when you talk about Falcons. So yeah, we might have just wait and see.
Okay, talking about unpredictable, I mean, we got India coming finally to EWC. That could be an unpredictable and a big question mark to a lot of people, as in Group A, we're going to have tag Apex Gaming. I know a lot of the fans are going to be tag on top. We'll see if they're actually going to end up there. The thing is, these groups are going to be playing 12 matches.
Yes.
Have a little bit of their back pocket.
WC, of course, is going to be different. The spirit is
You, Neptune, on this one. Which team do you think can surprise us? We just heard Conchita talk about consistency, right? We want to look at consistency from some of these squads. Is there any squad that you're like, okay, hey, that one might end up surprising us with consistency?
Well, there's a lot of things, teams really that hasn't shown that much from the previous competition. I think AJL is one of the teams that has that confidence right now, especially having that Clash Squad. So it's a different game mode overall, but the team, after getting that championship, they have been in good chemistry.
GAL, they have been showing amazing. She and Saifa would do a teamwork and play so well alongside each other. So I'm just really looking forward to see what AGAL will bring to the game this year.
Oh man, all right, you agree with it too? Okay, okay. Now I'm gonna put you guys on the spot because I just want to be able to say this word, and it's none other than booyah. Who's gonna be taking the first booyah of the day?
Oh my God! You really have to ask.
It's just one of those like close your eyes and
Yeah, we literally just started the show. Okay, I think
I like it. I like it. Neptune, come on. I don't know. I mean, some of the teams, the best teams, I would say, doesn't show up that much. So I'm going for Aurora Gaming at this point from Group A. Coming from Malaysia, also a first contender in here. I think they will be on fire right now. I thought you were gonna go with Evos. I'm not gonna lie. She stayed with Burem. I was like, for sure he's gonna go with Evos. But let us know in the comments below for everybody watching. Who do you think is gonna be taking the first Muya? Because this is day one of Free Fire at Esports World Cup. You know what? Let's get started.
Four of the most dominant teams in the world will step onto the Gadir City grid for the first time today. Teams who swept through their regions and left their opponents in the dust. Almost impossible climb.
150 million players for this 2026. 33 million players play these games every day. But today we will have the 96 best player coming from all around the world.
That's right, from all corners of the world, ready to go toe-to-toe until they are the last team standing. My name is Barney Banks and I'm your host alongside the incredible Luti. And without any further delay, it's time to introduce your first 12 teams to the main stage.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure, of course. Like, there is so many young players and they are coming from all around the world. And you know what? Like, I think for a lot of them, it's the first time in Europe, the first time in Paris. So they are far away from home. However, it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to introduce our first 12 teams, starting with Demon's Pride!
Titan Esports Club. Loudspeakers. United Esports. One Dynasty. DNS Gaming. Your reigning club champions, Team Falcons. And now, your reigning Esports World Cup champions, Esports! We've got $1 million on the line, a legacy to forge, and a champion to crown. So today is your only chance to make a first impression. Make it count.
The first day of Free Fire in AWC Paris begin now!
How hard is it to claim the throne? To rise above and be the best.
To end it, Russia with the final elimination! The Wonder Kid!
And how hard is it to stay?
Secret WAG rips away the Booyah and Bermuda.
It requires strength, resilience, the ability to thrive under pressure. It requires consistency.
4 Booyahs in a row.
And as the kingdom grows, so does the number of contenders. With familiar faces returning and entirely new forces knocking at the gates. One champion and one Booyah. And no king rules forever.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, survivors of all ages, welcome to the most awaited event for at least the first half of the year. This is Free Fire at the Esports World Cup 2026. We are in Paris, and I expected a heat wave. It was quite cold here, but now with the game starting, Dash, I think we're going to just bump the heat up a tad bit higher.
It's going to be intense. It's going to walk in and question marks on whether or not they can defend the crown.
Oh yeah, and you know, for the first part of the competition, it's all about survival. We're in the group stage, and for the first time ever, we have got 24 teams from around the world hopping on into a global battle. Never before. This is the first time we've got so many of them, which means there are going to be a tad bit more heartbreaks out there. The first day, you got early qualifiers, but you definitely want to avoid the bottom of the leaderboard.
For real. Now, as you go into that as well, eliminations are coming through, and as we go through this, we after eliminations only to survival stage.
Yeah, absolutely. But today is just day one. Both groups, A and B, will only play the first 6 matches, right? So it's a little bit of a prelude. It's a little bit of a preview. And thank God we have the preview, because some of the teams here are absolutely clueless about the regions who have not really shown up on a stage where you're able to go in and really check out what their drop spots are like, exactly what their rotations are like. So they're left in the dark. And these underdogs could just be exactly what surprises even the big dogs, right? Because we know for a fact, when you go on to the Free Fire Global Finals, the gameplay there is just very different. The Titans will rule as always, but here
of underdogs having a dream, right? So far, the winners that have been able to run away with it are winners who haven't been able to achieve much on the global final stage.
Yeah, it's really exciting when you think about that because it's such a different moment, right? It's a different pond.
Yeah.
It's a different capability. And again, there are also, whispers about these new teams coming online. The differences in regional styles of play, whether or not you can adapt to that. That day one, trying to figure out, like you mentioned, right, the drop spots. Are we going to be taking the early fights or are we going to be avoiding these teams? So those are the questions these teams are going to be asking themselves. Are you brave enough to take that gamble or are you going to be
AGAL, they have already shown their prowess in Clash Squad thus far, global finals champions, and recently at the Southeast Asian Clash Masters as well. But that's Clash Squad. In Battle Royale, they have been doing absolutely fine for themselves as well, right? Just very quickly climbing up the ladder, but they have not achieved a championship in DR for themselves just yet. Second at Sea Spring 26, second at even the Free Fire Max Asia Invitational, where we threw in a bunch of super teams from Southeast Asia up against the South Asian teams where they also found dominance at.
Yeah, and I think that when you are in that situation, you are trying to think, okay, how exactly am I going to be matching up? People say, right, the younger players have a little bit more drive. They're hot-headed, they're hot-blooded. They want to go for these early fights.
Yeah.
But in this situation, when you go high risk, the high reward moments, if you lose it, you lose it all. And in this situation, you want to avoid being at the very bottom of that ladder. What can we do to make sure that we don't go super high risk and not overheat?
Well, if you do end up at the bottom today, the risk is there, but fairly low. Tomorrow, you definitely have to avoid it at all costs. But obviously, not every single team can do that. At the end of the day, you're going to have some winners. You're going to have some teams down at the bottom who are going to be at risk of relegation. But I'm looking at the... because this is where dreams are made. And again, this guy, he dreamt for many, many years. I'm not so sure exactly what he's trying to do right now, but he's dreamt for many, many years. He's trying to think of a hand sign that he wants to flash on the screen the moment he gets a booyah. And AJL's just the kind of squad who's capable of walking with a booyah. And speaking of which, this is Group A. Many have termed this group the Group of Death because of the number of titans that are in this group.
Right. And I think that when you think about Group of Death, there are so many situations that, for me personally, I think last year we had this conversation, right? We were saying, hey, it's going to be the rise of the Brazilians this year. And we were knocked out of the park and we were surprised. And it wasn't that happening again. The favorites getting knocked out is going to be happening. I would say is because there are so many teams that we haven't dealt yet. We haven't seen quite yet on the bigger stages. Maybe regionally we haven't seen their prowess because maybe regionally wise, maybe they're not the best there. But some teams excel on the global stage, and that really, really surprises so many people, including us.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's just such a interesting factor that the teams that perform well on the global final stage, the titans of our competition, just don't find a good run here at the Esports World Cup. You look at Buriram, you look at even AGAL. I mean, this is their third year here, and both of the Esports World Cups in 2024 and 2020 not able to take a step forward, but the underdogs on the other hand, they always manage to rise up to the occasion. I wonder what's the difference going to be like this time around, right? Because you look at the teams, yes, the teams have grown, yes, the mechanical skills of these players have definitely been sharpened up, but we also have to take a look at the meta. This is the season for the snipers to rise up to the occasion.
Yeah, the snipers have been buffed, and I think that what's really good about this as well, I think there were whispers about the Indonesian squads running that double sniper. Seeing that is going to be fun. But again, as we go into this first game, I am curious to see what exactly is going to be happening. Is it going to be double sniper?
Going to be aiming for peak this time around because of the high tier loot zone, or it could also be a potential avoidance of these high tier loot zones for the underdogs of the competition, just so that they avoid early annihilation from these lobbies. But one thing's for sure, we're going to spot quite a number of hot drops because of the fact where we haven't built dominance on these compounds just yet. Day one is going to be a very messy day, and I think we already see a couple of hot drops out there.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a very interesting moment where we are looking at Mars, Electra, and Pochino just completely full of players. Circle coming up toward the middle central side there. So the rotations coming in from southern side
Dynasty up against Aurora. And this is going to be a little tough for Gun Dynasty if they don't manage to overwhelm the Malaysian squad, who has been performing extremely well in the recent past. And you've also got the team of Team Apex Gaming from India. Now, speaking of Aurora and the players of GD, let's see if or not they'll be able to knock each other out or very safely avoid each other after picking off a couple of points. Azrael Mac 10 in hand for medkits, no glue walls, getting stuck in a battle could be deadly, but he does have the time turner on him, keeping the active skill alive. Let's see if or not they'll be able to engage well. Vega on the side of GD, actually holding back, and David 444 moving on in, bringing the full squad for the attack. Jun's about to be in trouble here. David has the P90, Azrael quickly avoids the engagement, and Aurora does not want a straightforward fight. A little mistake here from Azrael as he hops on into the battle. David won't find him, Suez for the backup, and the back 7 shines for the side of Aurora, but they've already lost 2-3 players down to the ground.
It's a chaotic moment here right now, and Jun also gets knocked down quickly. Shobi comes through and somehow steals it away. Aurora Gaming eliminated too soon. Weren't able to tie down the last few. Crossing over, GD will be waiting on the other side here, but they haven't been spotted out quite yet. If the rotation is good, I think that they may be able to come on to the screen right now as DRS is just completely annihilating PDX right now.
Yeah, Paradox up against DRS, 3 eliminations in hand. They started off really hot, but it looks like Paradox will have to back away from this equation here. Snipe with the VSS is going to be standing by to distract the players of the Rail Soldiers. Was his buddy makes it away from the compound, looking for the revival on the rest of the Paradox squad. Alu and Pratik making sure they don't make a mistake here. The Valiant Dash point, a great start for DRS.
Yeah, DRS just walked up and just took the area like it's nobody's business. Snipe back into the game as Madara does get knocked down here. Evos, he does try to make a move onto the enemy team on the other side here, but they weren't able to find an opening toward them. Since DP does have the upper hand, drops down, but Albox knocked out of the game already, and the rest of the team completely collapses. Evos run away into the other compound here. They're trying to just crunch them from different areas. Ray cannot hold on here. Rasha does get a pickup of his own, but DP doing a great job of
Demon's Pride taking on the reigning defending champions in the EVOS Divine, trying to take them out of the equation, but it's not going to be that easy. The White Tigers of Indonesia rising to the occasion, instant pickups from their side, and they turn the tables on Demon's Pride, showing them who the true demons of this competition are.
It's honestly insane because the start off was just so in favor of DP as Rasha gets picked off by Falcons. Limit, a big pickup here already. Right timing to just catch him off guard before Evos was even able to reposition.
Yeah, great positioning from Rasya as far as the battle up against Demon's Pride was, but they did not expect Battle to drop by. And here comes Gun Dynasty yet again in round, but Team Apex Gaming needs a very early and up against the LATAM Giants.
Man, we already have 2 teams already out of the game, and Evos in trouble as Falcons just clean up house, eliminated so quickly. Demon's Pride as well out of the game fairly soon, and these are the big hitting numbers. We talked about this in the pre-show about what we were sort of expecting to see from the big names.
Yeah, I mean, very messy game 1 on day 1 as expected here. Most of the teams just do not know what to expect from the others in terms of drop spot, in terms of rotation. They'll have to stay on their tippy toes and sneak around these just go all out with their gunfights, just like what EVOS did earlier. But I'll have to say, Demon's Pride was not as big a threat as Falcons. Beat out of the car 98, takes down Aim God. Goodrich out of nowhere. TEC joining the party as well. 2 teams beating down the players on the side of EVOS Divine. The reigning defending champions might get taken out a tad bit too early here.
It's honestly insane. Evos come back into the game, immediately gets completely annihilated, and now on this side here, Falcons on a rampage. Limits doing the damage onto the player of DEC. The pressure is on, and DEC can't do anything
Wins Esports Club. What do you have in you? Have your been able to fly very far, but this time around, picking up some crucial early points. They do have the vending machine beside the final surviving